What the fuck did I just watch? Echo, who is the I know the character in the comics is probably codenamed Echo. The character in this series is never called Echo, she's called Maya. We talked about her deafness, and for such obvious flaws, I am not watching such a series without extra motivation, but until the last episode, I thought, okay, it has very obvious flaws, but it's not technically bad. So it's like a 5 out of 10. And then we go in peace. But it's not. The last episode, what kind of nonsense was that? I just. At the beginning, they shovel the Daredevil, who just come in, kicks Echo's ass, and then goes away. Why exactly? No idea. And then Kingpin comes in and kicks her ass, and Kingpin's man come in and kicks her ass, and then they go away because the plot says so. What? I require some explanation, and there is one more going away. Let's talk about this other thing first, which is related to that. Before that, I like the acting. Aside Echo, who is kind of C minus, but the rest are serviceable or even fun. I mean, Granny solves her character adequately. It's not very good, but it's serviceable. The friend, not the white friend, but the Native American friend, I don't like his appearance, but that's a personal issue. As a character, what the role demands, it's absolutely good job. Then there is Grandpa, genius level. Seriously, the fake Indian chef and all the other aspect of the character, the lover, the caregiver, the shopkeeper, whatever you want. He is good. That's a reason he's an actor. He's an old veteran. He's a good one. But there are such thrown away plot point, like the childhood friend, that other girl. Why her role was not cut out, I have no idea. And there is a bunch of other stuff that it's like remnants of a previous script. Like at the end, there is a car, two cars actually, coming in with full of mercenaries, let's call them that. And they are told when they stand in that look for Maya, Echo. So that's their target. I probably think they would shoot in the crowd if they have to, but they should look for protagonist, so-called the title character. I changed my mind. She is not a protagonist. But then they don't, and they look like they were there to start shooting everybody, which they don't do. Or even though other guy on the rooftop of the car start to shoot a rocket launcher. Your guess is as good as mine. And either way, the whole showdown is happening in a tent or house. I'm not even sure about that. Where somehow everybody knows they are supposed to go there. I guess because they read the script. So, yeah, there are such nuances, but let's talk about the elephant in the room. Indians are magic. I mean, Native Americans, of course. You know, I swear, the only thing I saw Power Echo gets is super strength. She gets that once, and that's pretty much it, so it's not a big deal. And the whole Native American thing is entirely separate thing from anything else happening in the show. Then at the very end, it's very much like the explanation in the very middle of Spider-Man Far From Home, where Mysterio stands up and tells the whole plot what is supposed to happen in the movie. It's ridiculous. So here, some narrator says that you get super strength and super senses, I mean vision, coordination probably, and super something. And they show super IQ. And they show you the all the ancient stories, stories in the past, because one of them is, thousands of years ago, one from the Western era, and one is the mother of Echo. And you should recognize the powers Echo got within the story when you watch the show, but it doesn't happen, and it doesn't even match what abilities they're supposed to give. Well, because the past should parallel the present, and we should see in the past how what strength they got, so that's what Echo got. But it's not working that way. It's like there is one where they play this Maya, Inca, whatever ball game, which I pretty much suspect women were not allowed to play. But okay, that's a thing. And there, when it's very important match, and and we go for the final goal. And it's like in American football, everyone is crawling on each other for the ball, and this tiny woman with her 40 kilo, 50 pound, 80 pound, is just throwing everybody's stick and jumping on everyone and throws a goal. That feels like strength, not coordination. Visual. If it would be, it would be visual power. The coordination. So she should catch a ball, not push away a crowd of rugby players. So it's bloody nonsense. And talking about Echo's mom, it's entirely her fault she died, and the whole family, aside Echo, because she notices she doesn't have brake. They are driving in a car towards a crossroad, and she starts signing that there is no brake and you are ready, but be calm and fuck you, ba. What the nonsense you are doing? Turn the fucking wheel. Seriously, turn the fucking wheel, go into the forest and hit a tree. Just fucking do it. I mean, and there is they didn't even try the handbrake. You know, they literally teach us on driving classes. The brake is crap. Don't worry. There is the clutches. We have, manual clutches, but if you don't have that, there is still the third option that you just use the handbrake, and that will slow down the car. They don't do that. They should have drive off the road, pull in the handbrake, and hit a wall or tree or whatever you have. No, they instead drive. The mother drives instead in the jam of traffic. It's your own fault. So, I don't care about you. Now, how Kingpin survived his eye shot out, I'm not even sure. His eye is no longer functioning. It's not explained. It seems it at least doesn't work, but at the end he takes off the bandage permanently, so it was maybe to let the eye regenerate. That's eye surgery practice. I have no idea. But that's a minor issue because, that's the Kingpin, this is a superhero show, so that we can just wave it away. But Echo gets a magical contact lens at one point. Episode 3 or 4, I'm not sure exactly. And that's where I had problem with the gimmick, this sign language thing, because this show was made in the USA, primarily for USA citizens. So, and we all know the USA people don't like to read subtitles. So why? What was the big idea? But this magical contact lens, if she gets at the very beginning of the movie, after they crash, that part is fine if you get that whole sentence, which is without oral repeat. And that's when they are spading into the traffic. Then it would be a good gimmick. Perfectly fine gimmick that, yeah, they are constantly signing, but you don't have to read subtitles, you can still watch the movie. But, it will be very inclusive because you are signing constantly. This contact lens, by the way, is translating lips reading to sign language so Echo can understand that, and translating the sign language to audio speech. That's maybe only for the Kingpin, but we can leave it in because of gimmick, and we'll know this is the sign translation because it was made by a kind of robotic voice. So if they done that, it had been very similarly successful gimmicky thing, like the Hungarian movie Vakogányok, where Brave Binds or something like that, the English translation. It was made specifically with blind people in mind, so there is a constant narrator who tells what is happening on the screen for blind audience. So the visually not impaired can feel how a blind person watches movies, TVs, whatever. And, the blind just get the narration from the movie itself. This could have been achieved here. But, Echo doesn't have cleaning stuff, it doesn't take it out for night. And for the last episode, it doesn't even work anymore. Where did it go? I have no idea. They don't show it, she taking it out, so your guess is as good as mine. Inconsistencies. Like, the director didn't read the previous scripts or whatever, even the raw data from that. I can't imagine. And you know what's the worst thing? As told in the what was that series? Let me check. Hawkeye. The motivation of Echo, as expressed by Echo in the first episode of this series, is that she wants to be the new Kingpin. So this is a villain origin story, supposed to be, according to the first episode of this series, or whatever this was. It's just 5 episodes, so what? It's like an overlong movie, I think. This really doesn't really have the episodic structure, unlike Hawkeye. Now, does she achieve it? No. So, what was the point? Kingpin didn't even die, and her action towards this Kingpinship or Queenpinship is destroying the organization and supplies of the organization. What was the big idea, Echo? Yeah, I see you have over 9,000 IQ. IQ over 1,000! No, she is a dumbass. It just really makes no sense. And at the end, they throw up Vin Diesel Fast and the Furious. It's family now. Where did it come from? Nowhere. Echo's motivation never changed to family. She didn't even talk with the family until the last episode. It's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. She didn't even get the visions. Oh, that what she got like twice. What was this all about? And she heals the mind of Kingpin so he can become the mayor of New York in the next series. Because he's not very evil now. What the fuck are we talking about? What? So now this and the previous series, like, okay, the actual protagonist was Kingpin, and this was his way to becoming a good guy? Batman of Gotham City, or, Lex Luthor in Metropolis, In the absence of Superman, where he has to be good because there is no one else and society is collapsing? What's the story here? And by the way, this has absolutely nothing to do with the core MCU. Absolutely nothing. Unless Kingpin returns in some of the theatrical movies. This is just an entirely spin-off series of installments. And because this is here with Kingpin and Daredevil and whatever, this makes the Netflix universe put into this, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, the Defenders, the Punisher. I will have to watch all that nonsense. Because of this, they became the part of the MCU. It feels like not a phase, this phase 4, but an acquisition of Netflix previous property to push up the content of the Disney Plus, or whatever they are calling it nowadays. Take a deep breath and let me do my last thing for this video, and sooner or later it has to be done. But what is not part of this phase, or like anything, they are what if. So, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 4, 5, 6, 7. All alternate timeline. Unless they are brought back with references. They are alternate timeline, we don't bother. What if is of course what if, so we don't bother. Here I checked Cloak and Dagger, and the only thing there that resembles some kind of connection to the core MCU is the Dark Force, which comes up in season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So it's a spin-off of season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. what is excluded from the canon. So Cloak and Dagger is, for the moment, is not canon. Now there was the Runaways. For the Runaways, I don't find any plot point to even hypothetically attach to the chart. So it just goes along the what if. It's just its own thing. They mention maybe a corporation or whatever from other MCU projects, but it's not enough to categorize it as not just some throwaway titles which has nothing to do with the MCU universe. It doesn't build it. And here or otherwise come up maybe in the next phase, I'm not entirely sure, is Moon Knight. That's, again, has no reference to any other part of the MCU, so I just crossed it over because why bother? If it will be brought back, made an actual connection, sure, it will be part of the MCU, but for the moment it's just something that uses the title. It's a title hack. For the phase 5, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is an animated installment, so I don't care. With that effort, it would be wild because the Sony animated Spider-Man universe has connection to the MCU, and who if they start to throw out animated series left and right, I can't be bothered. Sorry, this should be a live action franchise, so no. Let's see if anything else. Yeah, Hailstorm. Hailstorm. I found a connection for that, so that's not out of the grand picture. It's just a flimsy excuse. I heard there is one frame of the Sokovia Accord in a newspaper article, but that's a good enough excuse for me. It's only 10 episodes, so I will probably watch it. Otherwise, what I don't get, where do Eternals come into the picture? I mean, why did they start to make that movie? I mean, sure, but that's a whole big group. They doesn't even location restricted. They have their whole mind-blowing lore, and just why they were supposed to be inserted in the MCU. What was they supposed to build towards? I have zero idea. So I will probably watch it in this phase, like very late. I will have a lot of stuff to do because the old Spider-Man movies have to be watched, all five of them, and because Morbius will come in with the Spider-Man movie 2, because after that was the Daily Bugle episodes, then the whole Venomverse. So this phase looks like acquisition of properties, and I don't like that.